lose wrestling brawls. Jake and Cody calling it raw. In somewhere breaking the wall. Eclipse of suplex dreams and chair shot screams. Fans in the chat go wild extremes. Jake's got crutches but his spirit won't bow. Cody laughs, Jake wipes his brow. Chair shot screams. Fans in the chat.
It down, CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reviewing like a beast, no one does it clever. Cena threw elbows, Punk threw shade. Chains clang, bodies bang, rivalry displayed. Slanted to the chains like lions in the cage. Toronto crowd wild, unleash all the rage. In the summer, in the summer, the Garden's buzzing, New York feel electric. Punk's fist cracking, Seth's got a death wish, hectic. Cody says, man, Punk looking hungry tonight. Jake nods, but Seth flips, guts all in the fight. Roman stomps through, Rex plans in his strut. Tribal chief with bad vibes, tearing it up. MSG crowd, stunned faces in the stand. Cody shakes his head, this again, damn man. Y'all believe in Joe Hendry's name, fighting through the fire in the wrestling game. Hearty soar like the legends they define. Knockouts fight, her power aligns. Mic drop, we analyze every bout, discussing every twist, don't leave a doubt. Predictions, insights, we break it all down into somewhere best critics around. Into somewhere we reviewing every bout.
I told you to take this seriously. You make everything into a joke. I warned you. I told you your reckoning is coming. The reveal of Jake is almost here. Whatever you have to hide, whatever secrets you do not want to come to light, they'll see it all, they'll hear it all, and then they will judge you.
Keep down the moves, ain't no shadow of doubt. WWE, we bring that white hot flame from Ray of the Gunner, we calling names. Yeah.
Turnbuckle tension, the ropes might snap. Jake calling spots, Cody's laying the map. Spaz with the bent, or a joke and a clue. In the zone, in the somewhere where we break it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town. Broke half on fire, no one spit it better. Reviewing like a beast, no one does it clever.
Holy hell. What an episode of Raw. I'm telling you, off to a predictable yet entertaining show. I'm telling you, open with the vision, close with the vision, week in, week out. What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, bringing you the Raw review. It is September 8th, 2025, and as always, you know,
I told you to take this seriously. You make everything into a...
we gotta figure that out. Cody, you gotta fix this shit. What's going on, my good man?
What's going on? Predictable ending and beginning of a show again, and I don't know what that was, and it has nothing to do with me.
I'm telling you, it's got something to do with you, because...
Why didn't you pay the Home Depot intern? It must be him.
Listen, Listen, I've got enough to go through tonight, all right? AJ Lee back to her original therapy chanting self. That was great to see from the crowd. We had some really fun moments. We have Dragon Lee and AJ Styles teaming up to become the new AJ Lee. We had an AEW Dark rematch that was Penta and Rusev. Interesting to see that, and so much more. Raw was Raw. It was certainly not bad. There were some good matches, some good moments, some good segments. A lot of the backstage promos and segments weren't good tonight.
Not
but
just Raw. We
in-ring
also,
stuff was
later
good.
in the show,
Yes.
later in the show, we have to see how you did with your first week of NFL prediction.
We do. I have to bring up my sticky note and see how we did then, you know, how we went ahead and came across. Hopefully everybody's doing well in the chat. Glad to see you guys. What's going on, Stuart? Shout out to you. We are live currently on TikTok as well. Our 7-day ban is up, so we'll be probably live again next Monday when our 7-day ban is back up. And I seem to think that that's the cycle we're going through with here. But good to have you guys there and live on Twitter as always. What the is going on? Don't mind me. I'm very swollen and puffy. I feel like death, but I'm here for you guys. So Raw was Raw-tastic, no? And I mean, they had good moments. I think they should have ended with the AJ Punk Vision segment instead of what we got for the main event. I feel like that was kind of a step down from that point on. Nothing pretty much lived up to the hype that was the Seth Rollins trying to get his wife's belt back. You know, that was entertaining. That entire segment I thought was damn good. Surprisingly to no one, Becky Lynch is always good on the mic. AJ Lee is still good. She delivered very well. You said she seemed a little quirky, but that's always been her. She made crazy her superpower.
That's true. Like, I think she adjusted to it as the segment was going on. I think she was like had a little stage fright when she first went on, but you can't dig her for that because it's been like what 10 years since
I think she was overwhelmed. I think it's less because she speaks well in front of crowds. That's the first thing I noticed. Like it wasn't like she wasn't speaking well. I think she was just overwhelmed by that serious ovation and reaction. I mean, welcome back and thank you. And
she did good. She did good, but
she did great.
It's your first promo back in like 10 years. You can't fault someone. They're gonna be.
It's amazing to see how much she really accomplished in such a short amount of time. Because she's another one that really didn't have a lengthy career in WWE. But I mean, she came into the NXT system when it was still a joke. She got out of there into the Dolph Ziggler universe where she, surprised Caitlyn with Big E being a secret admirer and
Big
rocked that stuff. She won the Divas title, went on a hell of a reign, and then she spoke out against the McMahons on Twitter when that was a time you would get fired for that. She really went ahead and stood up, not just for herself, but for the division in general. There was a lot of things that maybe, you look back on and it's a little bit different, but I mean...
I know this is an AJ Lee topic.
Yeah.
This brings me to people that like to stand up for others or stand up for what's right. I guess they kind of settled it now, but this is kind of off topic. I'm sorry for doing this to you, but Nikki Bella, what are your thoughts of her online comments lately on her podcast and stuff? Some people scream it's entitlement.
It's like, a tale of like two Nickies, because you get like PR Nikki and then you get podcast Nikki, and I feel like that's more the real her because she's just jiving with her sister.
She seems to have more. She seems to have a big ego.
That's where the agenda comes out that she seems to have, and the mindset, like like you said, that I'm better than people treat me. It kind of comes out at times, and
Bree also does that.
The comments that started all the drama with Wade Barrett, with him making, were not disparaging. Were not. There was not even a slight thrown at her. You're coming back.
Older now.
You retired. You got into the Hall of Fame, and now you're coming back. Why? Because it's selfish. Even AJ admitted it's a selfish thing. I thought I was done.
Nikki Bella, like, how many times has he mentioned John Cena's age? Can he hang with Cody Rhodes or any of the young guys?
Every single time John Cena's in a match, that's brought up. So they do the same thing with Nikki, and suddenly this is a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, in case you wondered what your millennial parents were cheering for on Friday, this is it. Yeah, she got right into it. Nikki still feels like she's trying to recapture former glory, as where AJ still feels like
Is she trying
herself.
to?
Does that
Is
make
she
sense
trying to
to you?
make a? Yeah.
You
Speaking
know,
about Nikki and AJ Lee, instead of like Nikki just being happy AJ Lee's back, she's making it a narrative where they need to bring Paige and Brie Bella back instead.
yeah, it's kind of. I mean, we'll see where they
It's
go with
weird.
it. It is a little weird. We'll
Like,
see what happens, but
I'm sorry if you like the Bellas. I get it. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from the Bellas because Total Bellas and Total Divas did bring in a lot of new fans
yeah,
and
no,
a bunch of
for a
woman
while there.
audience. So, like, you can't disparage that.
But at that time, all they cared about was the reality show. That was it,
Yeah.
strictly. That's all they gave a damn about for the women. They didn't want the women punching each other at that time. Remember, AJ even said that in her book and interviews. We don't want you punching. That's what the guys are doing. The same thing they told
This
Gail
is just
Kim.
my opinion, though.
Yeah.
With the Bellas, Nikki, when she was in her like she was for the most part good in the ring, I would say. Like she could hold her own.
Nikki
Brie, on the
improved
other
as
hand,
time went on. Nikki got better post like neck injury when she came back and had to kind of refine some of her movesets. She really did improve, and even in this run, she's been pretty excellent. Yeah, Brie was always a bit of a wild card. You could get some good moments from her, but overall, she wasn't great at like selling. She was never believable.
acting was.
Yeah, it was very yeah, none of it was great. And what is she remembered for? Her sister turning on her at SummerSlam? Like
Brie seems to have more of an ego than Nikki, though.
Being Brian's wife, like that was kind of the thing at that point. Like, yeah. So they focused on the reality side of it. The women were just supposed to be playthings, and most of them were fine with doing that because they were models and of the such. And that's when you had AJ Lee there being like, no, we can be more, we can do more. We, you know, the women's title could be defended weekly and on pay-per-views, and people are bringing up her cage match ratings and all these things before being like, who did she have to work with then? Caitlyn? That was probably the best person she could have had a match with for a very long time. She left before the Divas Revolution happened, before they gave Divas a chance. You had her tweeting that Stephanie McMahon was full of shit for saying that she cared so much about the women when she wouldn't even do anything for give the women TV time. At first, AJ Lee got a bunch of heat. The only reason she got forced out of wrestling is because of who she was married to. I bet you she was so happy for the first time ever to hear CM Punk chants with her in a ring tonight, because those haunted her. From the moment that he left onward, she never had a chance. They chanted CM Punk through everything because his star was brighter than hers, and the fans loved her, but she was connected to him, and they wanted Punk back. And she eventually had to leave. She had the match after WrestleMania with the match with Paige, and then that was it. She was gone. So, I mean, it was what, 2015? She's not been around for 10 years now. And immediately people were like, look at the cage match ratings. Look at what yes, what she accomplished at that time was amazing, considering we were getting battle royals where the women were being eliminated without even being entered. You know what I mean? Like they never even made it into the ring and they were already out. You know, the Sunny's very first match ever was at WrestleMania when they had the 25 women battle royal that's Santino won as Santina. That was Sunny, the manager's first ever match, and no one even mentioned that she was in the match that night. Never mind the fact that she got eliminated. You know, things like that, because at that time they didn't care. All they cared about from there on was even less of, because they were getting away from the Playboy, but they still wanted the girls to be valets and models and on the arms of celebrities. Every time somebody showed up, they had a Bella on each arm. You know, every celebrity were surrounded by Bellas, fawning over them all night like they were Greek gods. The women wanted to be something. They wanted to do something. I wanted my daughter to be proud of something. She had this forever. She loved this Divas title because of AJ and because of Paige. Before, it was a prop. they made it something that she could believe in. And we didn't have that for a long time until AJ stood up for something. And I think a lot of people take that for granted and they forget, because women's wrestling is phenomenal now, as it has been for a long time. It just wasn't given that spotlight. And you got people like Fit Finlay trying to give the girls a chance and working his ass off to make something out of nothing. I appreciate it.
And
I'm glad AJ's back.
Matches like when they do the Money in the Bank, except this year, Royal Rumble was an example. Elimination Chamber, all the gimmick matches, women always outshine the men in match quality too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And when you think back to the first Royal Rumble, they made mention of it now tonight. You know, it was Asuka and Nikki at that point. And Asuka had her, huge streak that she went on to lose to Charlotte Flair. What was it, 900 days and plus? Still baffling, but I mean, we've got a hell of a lineup for Wrestlepalooza. We've got the tag match, CM Punk and AJ Lee. You know, her first match back is going to be against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. And eventually it's going to be those two, going against each other for titles. So we've got John Cena, Brock Lesnar for the final time. God knows who's going to win. Io Sky, Stephanie Vacour for the vacant Women's World Championship. There's a lot to be excited about, and they're counter-booking like mofos. You know, they are going against All Out as hard as they can. All Out, their biggest match right now is a coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. I had hoped that Darby would have been done past everything with Hangman. That should have been the end of the Death Riders. It loses the title, it's in the briefcase, hey, they're done, disband. But instead, they're just that constant thorn in the side. Shout out to Frederico in the chat and everybody else. Hopefully you're doing well. Make sure you hit the like button. It helps out a bunch. I appreciate it. So yeah, Raw was live in Milwaukee tonight. Not Rusev's favorite town, certainly. They're in Wisconsin at the Pfizer Forum. And taking place on Netflix. They opened up with a recap of everything that happened on SmackDown with AJ Lee, her taking the title, walking away. We see Jey Uso come out, and Jimmy is not far behind. They do their entrance through the crowd. The Usos are in your city, and just as they allowed them to be on the mic, the wrestling god said, and had the Vision come and interrupt. I don't know. I didn't want to hear what any of these people had to say, sadly. I haven't been into Jey Uso in a while. They kind of had a little bit of a thing with the ending, like, oh, is it kind of heelish, or is he just getting a receipt?
I'm trying to get free tickets here. This was a shocking beginning to Monday Night Raw. I couldn't believe it. This is must-see television, and no one's seen anything like it before. The Vision kicking off Raw, and then they're confronting their opponents. This is unheard of cinema, I would say.
Let me talk to you.
Can't forget about LA Knight, too. Come on.
Oh, yeah, LA Knight. Oh, my God, yes. How incredible was that? LA Knight trying to go after the Vision and beat them up, and then Jay and LA Knight having tensions built.
Yeah. Looking like a heel turn for Jey Uso. We got a little bit of the works. It's interesting. It's something, but it's like mid-card interesting. They don't feel like they're in the main event at all. We're not. How are we supposed to take anybody from the Vision seriously besides Seth? I mean, really, only reason he won is because he cashed in
now
and he gets help.
Interacting with Braun and Bronson.
Really, he's not having anything to do with them lately, which is bizarre. Yet I get it, but still, it doesn't quite make sense.
And what's Paul Heyman? Are they really still selling a little chokehold?
That's what I was going to say to you. Are they still trying to say that Heyman is out injured? I mean, the man went through a table and sent out less time. He sat out less time. Granted, yeah. I mean, I might be crazy, but that
chokehold is going to keep you out and put you in the hospital.
That wore his ass out. I'm just saying. I know, pot calling the kettle black, right? Calling him
sitting in the hospital right now. That's overselling it, I think.
It's just, yeah, they are just Boss Man and Rick Steiner. Better. I don't know if it's better Rick Steiner either at this point, because Rick Steiner at least had some great promos. Bronson and Braun, because they're not great on the mic yet by a long shot. And plus, they have zero believability built into them at this point in time. LA Knight, great on the mic. You believe him. You believe everything he says. The bronze, they just keep losing. They can't back anything up unless they cheat. They don't. It's not like heel cheat, like, oh, everybody else has got to get involved kind of thing. They need help, or these guys should be monstrous. They should they destroyed Roman. You know, Bronson Reed sent him back in the hospital after he lost. He lost. Oh, well, but Roman ended up in the hospital, but you still lost. We saw you lose. Why couldn't you win and crush Roman? That's what I'm saying right now. Like, we should be seeing these guys going top-notch nuts. They should be just tearing people apart, you know, racking up charges.
I agree.
City to city, these
they
guys should be
lose to the
terrible
Usos.
menaces. They're going to lose to the Usos. Oh, watch. We're supposed to
think,
have this tag match
personally-
at Wrestlepalooza. That's the one match we left off because we were
I
going to
know we're
talk
going
about
to
it
have a
now.
prediction show. I'm
Yes.
going to give a little prediction here. What if the Usos lose and Jay turns on Jimmy?
Right. You know, we could see that happen
Because
as
Jimmy
well.
did it to him,
Yeah.
and it's
possible.
justifiable heel again because Jay's like, you did it to me. And I still never forgot that.
Yeah. I mean, we have certainly a lot of history with those brothers, and they have turned on each
I know
other
he doesn't
many
have the
times.
title anymore, but this could show Jimmy was right. If he ever had possession of a world title at all, he would have get an ego, and it's going to turn him into Roman. And
The
No, the-
Usos don't
that
feel
he's been
hard. They
world
feel like I don't want to say like, oh, PG for everything, but they feel like for kids in a sense. Like they
yeah,
like a little bit trying to be harder version of the New Day. With Tribal Chief, in the words of him, you're a
fair.
dumbass. Ha 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 ha. You know, we're gonna. They made like very silly jokes. You know, when they did go back and forth, and was there anything great about? No, the promo made him seem more cartoonish
Okay, I have a
and
question.
silly. Yeah.
if Jay turns heel, is that a smart idea? Because he's your most over baby face right now.
I don't know if he's your
Really?
most over, really. I mean, he's over like Rover, but for what? His entrance. That's kind of where it stops. People don't really still fully get behind him until the match is close to ending. I feel
That's fair.
like
You think
they
he's
kind of
just an
fall asleep.
entrance?
He's not just an entrance, but people are falling asleep on him for promos
Because-
and in the ring. He gets a lot of yeets, a lot of run it back. People like to yeet, but I don't know
I
how
don't
much
like-
more
It's
substance
funny
there
to
is
me,
with this.
Jimmy, his whole thing is no yeet, but he's yeeting all over the place. I don't understand that, but
He's doing it with his brother. The thing that doesn't really make a ton of sense in all of it. You know, you've got LA Knight, and he's acting legitimate. You know what I mean? Like, he's been screwed many
Yeah.
times before. That's why he's not trusting, but he's still there to come out and lay a helping hand. And guess what? He got screwed
LA
again.
Knight is a happy-go-lucky face. Did you hear about that?
Oh God, yes, I know. Everybody's a happy-go-lucky face, apparently. It depends on which sicko you ask. I get the why can't the faces ever find common ground to work together? Why do they always have to have all this dissension and mistrust, and can they coexist kind of thing, when really you figure the heels who backstab each other incessantly somehow always find a way to work together. They are always
get
simpatico. They
It's
are
like
in
the
sync,
rinse and repeat. Just
like
a
you and
different
I.
cast of characters.
finishing each
Yeah, me and
other's
you.
sandwiches, you know?
Oh, I thought we were finishing. Okay. Anyway, but it's rinse and
Already?
repeat with the baby faces.
Oh. Woo!
Like Roman and Punk when they had the team, it's tensions build.
Yeah.
Jay and Punk tensions. LA Knight Punk tensions. LA Knight Jay tensions. I don't understand.
Anybody just be like, yeah, we're gonna fuck
Can
up the
they
bad guys
coexist,
together.
pal?
These two, they're gonna get tore up.
This
Yeet.
is so
Death
Vince
Pop.
McMahon booking. This is
It's-
such Vince
yeah.
McMahon booking. Can they coexist?
It's supposed to be, and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to not be Vince. It's supposed to be Triple H. You know, it's supposed to be, but it feels very watered down, and it makes me
I
wonder: is it a
personally think,
TKO thing? Is it a Triple H thing? Is it a creative thing? Like, is he not getting
I think
final
Vince
say?
still has say. Don't
Oh,
call me
God, no,
crazy. I
Vince
think
is out of
still
there.
has- No. Yeah, as long as Bruce is there, I think he still gets his input.
Maybe some little things here or there, because yeah, Bruce does still have a ton of power. Pritchard is high up on the food chain, but I'm not so
That's what I'm
sure
saying,
Vince
because-
even wants anything to do with it at this point. He feels very dejected and betrayed. He's more like from what I've seen, heard, and read, and even watching some of the interviews, he's very like, no, they screwed me over. I should, they should die kind of attitude. He's very vengeful.
It's his
with
fault for
WWE.
selling the company.
I mean, they played him certainly, Ariel. What is it, Ari Emanuel? Excuse me.
People thought this was going to be so much better. Tell me, I'll be honest with you. I think.
And what about Dwayne?
Owned by.
A time traveling lawyer agrees. What about The Rock?
I think
comes in
they're
and
gonna
mess shit up
kill
all the
this
time.
company.
I don't think they're
gonna
going
end
to
up
kill
killing
it,
this
but
company.
they're going to kill the goodwill that fans have. They're running thin with these exorbitant price packages for no real reason.
Like,
It's like,
me
oh,
and my
these
friend-
people
like
get
my
to
friends-
grace your presence now. We used to buy 4-packs for $25 to go see Raw.
Starting ticket
$25
prices
for
for
4
the
tickets.
MSG show for Monday Night Raw, John Cena's last Raw, I believe. It's starting at like almost $800.
For the cheap seats, I know. I saw
Yeah.
earlier. I saw for the Springfield, Massachusetts Mass Mutual was like $680. So these are the last 7 dates for John Cena. He has Raw this upcoming Monday, September 15th in Springfield, Mass. Then he'll be at WrestlePalooza the 20th in Indianapolis. He'll be at Crown Jewel Saturday, October 11th in Perth, Australia. And then on Raw Monday, November 10th in Boston, Mass at the TD Garden. Then he's got Raw Monday, November 17th in New York and Madison Square Garden. He's got Survivor Series. That's his last Raw at the MSG you're talking about. Then he's got Survivor Series, and that's in San Diego, November 29th. And then we have his last appearance, DC, Saturday, December 13th on Peacock, Saturday night's main event at the Capital One Arena. He said it was his final appearance on SmackDown. He was not lying. That was it this past Friday. We've got 1, 2, 3 more Raws, including this upcoming Monday. And then we have WrestlePalooza, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and Saturday night's main event. And that's it. Who's going to be Cena's final opponent? Gunther retired Goldberg. Is he going to retire Cena now too and start retiring legends? He'll be a new legend killer like Randy. I don't know.
I mean, could be.
I mean, we've got 3 new live events for WWE they announced. They're going to be for NXT. They're going to be in Michigan, Ohio, and so they're going to Columbus, then they're going to Detroit, and then Cleveland. So that's Thursday, October 9th, Friday, October 10th, and Saturday the 11th. So that's going to be NXT traveling to do house shows. It's always good when developmental gets to do these live shows. They had, a big thing going viral over the weekend with Obafemi taking on Rusev, and that went, pretty big. This upcoming Friday on SmackDown, it is a pretty big show. We've got Drew McIntyre taking on Randy Orton. We'll see if we get Drew and Cody at WrestlePalooza. There's still time, and there's still room on that card.
I think they want to, at least. Like, they want to make this as
From
big
what
as
we've
possible,
heard,
but-
they want to really stack this card. And I mean, they've got Lesnar on there. They've got AJ Lee's first match. This is massive. I could see it happening. I still want to bet that we'll get Drew and Cody. I think we get Cody because Cody's supposed to come back, soon enough. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill for the women's title. And then Brock Lesnar is going to appear as well. So they're in Norfolk, Virginia at the Scope. Going to be a exciting SmackDown this Friday.
Did you figure out what we're going to do, like, with all that, though? Are we going to make it one big review with All Out and WrestlePalooza?
Seems like it, because they're going to be live one after the other. If there's likely not going to be a break in between, so we might have just one gigantic review the night of the 20th. If there's time and we can do it in between, we'll kind of sum up All Out and then come back for WrestlePalooza. Either which
I
way,
guess, like,
we'll be live to do it. It'll
throwing
be
out
fun.
ideas out on air, but I guess we can make a quick sum up of like a 25-minute video of All Out, and then
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the timing as we get closer. This week we'll be live this Wednesday to review NXT, talk Wrestlepalooza, and so much more WWE and AEW news. Throw in some NXT as well. Like we said, we're covering Tuesday night show this Wednesday on Into Somewhere Weekly. Make sure you're subscribed at Jake Countdown and DeMarco on YouTube. And thank you all for following over there on Twitter and on TikTok. We appreciate you guys hanging out over there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good coming up. I mean, Wrestlepalooza is stacked, counterbooked or not, that is stacked. And one person that's kind of unhappy with their booking is AJ Styles. So I don't know how much you or many people saw, but AJ cut a very good promo during the commercial break after he made his entrance. AJ basically came out and said that there's somebody here that doesn't want to see me succeed. They don't want to book me properly. They don't respect me. Out of everything I've done and accomplished, there's no one here to watch my back. There's no Gallows. There's no Anderson. Meechin's on SmackDown doing her own thing. Sure. And all in all, you know, I feel like I'm being held back. And I don't know how much time I have left. And things need to change, basically, was the point of his promo. Like, you know, this is bullshit, and I'm addressing it now, finally. I deserve respect. So it's an interesting angle that they're starting, and they're giving it this Karrion Kross grassroots feel. It's what Karrion's booking was supposed to be. AJ is online with his son, commented on somebody pointing out that they're not happy with WWE's booking, and AJ Styles' son said on Instagram, us either. You know, we're not happy with how he's being disrespected either. So they're trying to lay this on thick. It's a story, though. If he's saying it on WWE TV commercial or not, it's a planned story. So it
he
seems
probably
like
told his son to go along with it.
I think that, yeah, that's the whole plan. They're going to be saying, hey, you know, I'm not being respected. My booking has sucked. I'm retiring in a year and a half or a year and a quarter. You know, I deserve better. By the time I'm 50, I'm done. So you better utilize me and use me or I'm out of here. I like the story.
Is the whole Dominic story then done with him? Like, what are they doing then?
I guess he's just not going for the Intercontinental title again for right now. That's kind of on hold while Dominic's going to be doing the Worlds Collide event this Friday, which we will be live for. So we'll be live for the review of SmackDown. We'll talk about Lesnar and Drew and everybody on SmackDown, and then we'll talk about kind of live coverage of Worlds Collide because it'll be featured on YouTube. So we'll do a mini watch along. Should be fun. Going to be a big night this Friday.
Should I get rumors going?
You should.
All right. Okay, I'm not going to do it.
No, I was waiting for it.
Okay. Liv Morgan's returning.
Worlds Collide. There we go. I appreciate that they're doing something with Styles. I'm still baffled that Karrion Kross is gone. And I mean, he's not just like temporarily gone. Like, he's making booking plans in the UK for 2026. Like, yeah. They really didn't re-sign him. Either they just had no interest in Scarlett, and he was like, okay, so you guys aren't going to tell me if you're going to hire her without me?
I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But people talked about his in-ring ability because you can't remember a good Karrion Kross match in WWE. And I guess that's a good point to point out, but like, in WWE, it's sports entertainment, so you don't really need to be the best, flashiest in-ring wrestler ever to get over.
No,
WWE.
but he always worked well. He was competent, competitive.
That's what I was about to say.
And when you wanted him to turn it on and do something brilliant, he really could. He worked great at the Bloodsport event 2 years running now. He's done very well.
Again, even if not like the flashiest moves don't always win you.
No, but there was so much fan support, and they really and to think about it, they were taking away signs that said "We want Cross" at Raw's when he first was no longer there, and I was like, oh, it's got to be a work day. So that means they legitimately are taking away signs and silencing people from saying they want this wrestler because. He said, I want to know what my value is. And they said, well, and he's like, well, what about Scarlett? And they're like, well, let's talk you first. So he knew they weren't going to re-sign Scarlett, it seemed. He didn't want to do it without her again. What's the point of that?
Which is fair.
He's being booked all over the world. I mean, he came out for GCW in late August. Now he's going to be working for House of Glory in New York, and then he's going overseas in UK for a big tour and the book tour over there. So he's got a lot of things planned.
Makes me question why
producing and
Triple H
writing a
even
movie.
re-signed him.
I am shocked. This was like when they let Wyatt go, I was kind of like, oh, you know, that I kind of got it, but it was also like, all right, it felt like where else could they go at that time with that character, with everything that they did to ruin it? It made sense. But
I don't think Vince really liked him that much.
well, you saw what happened too. You know, they brought Wyatt back, and what we got a a dark, you know, dark light match at the Rumble for the lights out
I don't
stuff.
think Vince hated Ray. I think he hated the fact that he could just get over and have his own creative genius ideas. That
Maybe. I mean, there was a lot of it because the Fiend was charred and hard, and then Alexa was leaking tar and feathered, and I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just still baffling that Karrion Kross isn't here. So seeing now that what they're doing with LA Knight is kind of I don't want to bemoan, but it is a bit amusing.
I want
to say the least.
I want Kross just like the next guy. But what do you? If Kross was there right now, what could you see for him?
See, what could I see versus what they would have actually done? See, I could have seen Kross actually truly being a puppet master, making people turn on friends, making people turn him, doing things like being really, but he could have also had great runs with people like Cody for the title. I mean, he could have gotten elevated to that main event very quickly, beat somebody like Randy pretty decisively. And then
they want Homelander Cody. Karrion Kross could have been a good
catalyst to that.
Yeah.
Yep. Could have brought that about. Absolutely. Next Thursday, I should be out of this cast, which would be a good thing. So, I'll be in a boot, and I won't be so bitchy.
That's a plus. So, Karrion Kross, again, I guess people have a point. Like, he's not your greatest wrestler. No one said that, but like character and charisma.
Yeah, remember the rumor that he wouldn't take back bumps? That one was fun. You know, he wouldn't. He refused to take any type of back bump. So,
and I knew that was bullshit
impressive
because I'm like a killer Kross fan, and he always took back bumps. Like
he did in WWE as well, and he had some good matches too. It was just that he was so used so infrequently that it was hard to even be like, oh, I liked this, because we hadn't seen him wrestle in over a year. I mean, really, it was so much time away from him, and that was usually most of the problem. So, getting back to Raw, though, AJ Styles, El Grande Americano, they start with a fight on the floor, and eventually they get into the ring, and that's when the second El Grande Americano comes out and stops AJ. And the original Kaiser version of El Grande goes ahead and takes Styles, throws him into the ring steps, and that gets us to a break. And when we come back, we end up with a third Americano. So he grabs AJ on the floor. That's when Dragon Lee comes out and takes care of our third El Grande. And that's when Styles hits him with the Clash.
Who are all of them
pins
again?
El Grande. It's Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Chad comes back, is
Ludwig
he just going to drop the gimmick?
No, I think they're going to have like a big Spider-Man, but with four of them, like, who are you? How do we, that kind of thing. And they'll do a comedy angle, and then they'll go back probably to just having Chad with it. I get what they want to do because it's everybody that originally had issues with Penta, but now that they're not screwing with Penta, what is the point of this? Why are there so many? What's the relation with Dom? What is the point of any of this? It's cool to see Kaiser get like such an amazing reception now, because when he was coming out as Ludwig Kaiser, no one gave a shit. He's arriving in Mexico and being greeted like he's a lucha god. It's incredible. Fans are lining up at the airport to see him arrive. He's walking by, people doing the hand, you know, the Penta thing. And like, it's very cool to see like that level of reception for what was supposed to be a joke character. But it's more of the same. So we started with the same, with the vision coming out, and it's going to lead to them in the main event. We've had that since June, it feels like, right? Since Money in the Bank. So it's been 4 months of this, essentially. Now we get multiple El Grandes messing up a match, and then what are they going to do to just keep having the 2 other El Grandes interfere until what? Till Chad returns? Like, for months? I don't know. Something different has to happen. Get rid of the other 2 and just keep Ludwig, or do some type of payoff with it, but this is not it. It wasn't a bad match either. The ending was a really cool spot that led into the Styles Clash. It was just the point of all the interference took away from what just should have been a straight up good match. It was like 4 minutes of nonsense interference. Unnecessary, too. All we want to do is see AJ compete, not deal with people on the outside. We had our little backstage segment, and as I said before, you know, the in-ring promos were strong tonight. The matches were wrestled well and mostly entertaining, but the backstage stuff with Adam Pearce and Nikki Bella and Io Sky, all of that, was not great. Nikki ends up basically challenging Asuka, and Nikki accepts, and, you know, they go kind of back and forth, and Kairi Sane keeps trying to be like the innocent one and tries to apologize, but then Asuka angrily summons her each time, and Kairi, and then she has to hurry up and run away. It's very stereotypical and kind of just not great. Nikki seems, as you said before, very egotistical. She comes across as being full of it. We don't get Stephanie again for another week. We don't get Io again for another week because they have their Wrestlepalooza match, which was supposed to be at the pay-per-view before this.
My next question, though.
Yeah.
What were I was kind of tuning in and out with this, but so 2 questions. One, do you think Nikki came back just to make it all about her rather than help build a division?
No, she came back with some selfish reasons, just like a Goldberg would and others. She wanted her son to see her wrestle. She had things she wanted to try and accomplish that she couldn't do before. I do think she genuinely wants to help, but she's not doing it at the expense of anyone else, but I don't see her also, like, really going to do it for the betterment of others either, if that makes entire sense.
If Brie wants a job there, I don't know what she keeps doing on the podcast. That's not going to help you with getting a job with WWE.
That's just trashing the booker. That's not helping. And, you know, a lot of the women's stuff is very strong. So she really had to kind of step up with it.
What's the update on Stephanie or whatever?
It's just that she has a match. That was pretty much it. Okay. That's all there really was to say. He was just basically telling, he's like, Io Sky, he had to cancel the contract signing for her Wrestlepalooza match because she was unable to come to Raw.
When did Io Sky win #1 contender?
She didn't. So she was the former champion. She was the champion that was cashed in on,
but she got a rematch though, right?
Right. So they still should have had someone else be given a chance, but they're just like, we'll give it to the former champ and anybody. I mean, they could have had a small tournament in all this time rather than, because they're still having the women face off. We're getting Lyra versus Raquel, and then next week we're getting Lyra, who lost this, against Roxanne. So it's a bit.
It should have been one of those two. And this isn't Judgment Day bias. Please tell me a better story for either Io or Stephanie, and then what you can do for either of the 2 Judgment Day ladies.
At this point, there's not many, sadly. So they would be probably, Raquel could have been a really good choice, especially after losing the women's title. You keep building her up, and they gave her a good win tonight. But
her and Liv, because they say Liv's winning the Rumble, right? So it would have been perfect for that. And I don't understand. You're just gonna have Stephanie be a short-term champion because they're gonna put the title, I'm assuming, more likely on Roxanne. But
I don't know. It's gonna go somewhere to Judgment Day if Liv's taking it, but that's not always a definite.
I still don't think Stephanie should be winning.
I mean, if Liv wins the Rumble, that could always lead to what
when was the last...
breaks up the rest of Judgment Day, but there's a lot of time till then too.
When was the last time Stephanie had a match?
Well, that's why, because she was supposed to go ahead and already have this match, and then now it got, it was supposed to be in Paris, and then it got delayed
I would
from
just
Clash in Paris
Put
to
it
this.
back on EO.
So for the last like 8 weeks, we really haven't seen anything from her because she won the Battle Royal at Evolution, and then they're like, oh, good, we'll see you at Clash in Paris. And then it didn't happen. She had to relinquish the title, so they get rid of the match. And then they hold off to Wrestlepalooza, but their big idea was just to go back to EO Sky rather than have a tournament, rather than crown anybody, rather than do anything individualized
the two people
or
fighting for the
intelligent.
women's world title shouldn't be holding the title right now. Neither of them should be.
Well, no, Stephanie has a right to face her. She did win the
She
number
has
one
a right to be
contendership.
facing it, but one of them have to win is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't
which
think
is
Stephanie's a
the
bad
issue.
choice either. I don't think it's too soon. She did well as a double champ in NXT. She's
I don't
very
know.
over with
I
the
think-
crowd, but it is going to be temporary. I really feel like it's not going to be a long-term thing with her. I think they had Naomi for the long haul, and plans changed. Jimmy
And do you
got
want to
busy.
see Stephanie as a short-term champion here?
Yeah, I think that would serve her well. Get her more recognized and over with more fans. Give her a little more
I
fame in the
still
meantime. Because what do?
kinda
You just give
disagree
it
with-
back to EO? It's either going to go back right to EO, or at least you give
That's the
something
issue.
to
This is why it
Stephanie and let
shouldn't
it
have been
build
the match.
Stephanie up. But that's what we're stuck with. So, in all reality, I prefer Stephanie over EO. EO's just going to get the belts again. She had these great matches at Mania, the defense there, so on. EO doesn't need it right now. Stephanie will get elevated from having a title, even if it's only a little bit. It's something.
You're
What does
gonna
EO
put
get
the
from
world
it?
title on someone that hasn't wrestled in a month?
The only reason she hasn't wrestled is because she's going for that title. That was the whole reason they kept her off
even
TV.
then, even if she was going for the title, she still didn't wrestle.
Because they didn't want her to wrestle
Really?
to get injured before the number one contender faced the champion at Clash in Paris. And at that time, it was only supposed to be, 2 weeks away?
They don't have her on TV either. That's another issue.
Well, that's the
This-
point, though,
she
that
shouldn't be
because they
winning the
have
title.
nothing to do for her. She should. She was the number one contender up until that point. It's just that at this time, what else do they do with her? They bring her out every week because you can't have her wrestle. They don't want her to get injured. Okay. So now you're holding off, and it's like, all right, the problem was Clash in Paris was only 2 weeks away, but then you had to wait all the way till Wrestlepalooza, which ended up being an extra, 7 weeks? So now she's been off TV all this time from that point. That's been the issue. They're just like, hey, she's the number one contender, right? We'll see you next week to remind you again that she's still the number one contender. So I see your point, but it's not like she's not willing to wrestle. It's just been
I know that,
the
but
booking.
I still think
So.
it's too soon for her because I don't know.
No, she won the title, the mid card title right away, and was able to take the main title away from Julia because she is that excellent. She ascended the ranks as fast as she did because of how over she got with the fans, and I don't think that that's going anywhere. I think that her ascension, she's only going up, buddy. That's right.
I still can't buy me on this. I like Stephanie, but I still think it's too soon.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, talking about too soon is Wardlow. He's already injured again. Who I said before on Twitter, who whooped his ass in catering? Seriously. I mean, he just returned to go ahead and turn heel again. He did the whole thing, I'm in the Don Callis family. How many times have we seen Wardlow return from injury or time away to become back as the secret heel in a group, and then nothing happens with it? So many times, and it's just Nay, I don't know why they're still employing him if he is this injury prone. It just doesn't make any sense for either side. Wardlow hasn't been used, and then on the other side, Wardlow's been injured. So not great for him. We'll see what happens when we go ahead and go live this Wednesday into Somewhere Weekly. We'll be talking about AEW Dynamite and the build to All Out in Toronto as well. That's going to be exciting. Going to make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. That's right. I did say Toronto. Tomorrow night in NXT, you got Javon Evans taking on Josh Briggs. Trying to see who the new number one contender is. You got Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin. They're going to go ahead from
Stuart, I
Dark
don't
State.
like that either. Stuart, I don't know if I want to see Rio with the championship either.
Oh, yeah. Rio is not going to beat Mercedes. So we'll talk more about it this Wednesday, though. We got Hank and Tank taking on the tag champs tomorrow night. You got Sol Ruka and Zarya taking on Fallon Henry and Jasmine Nix, taking on Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. So whoever wins that becomes the new number one contender for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. So interesting. They get to go and face them for the women's tag titles. It says a future shot. We don't know when. And then we have Ethan Page, his North American title, against Tavon Heights in a flag match. And then Fabi Apache is taking on Lainey Reed in an opening round tournament for the shot at the Women's Speed Championship and NXT No Mercy. It should be a good show. All in all, we'll be covering it this Wednesday. Like I said, on Into Somewhere Weekly. Dynamite this week, you got Hangman Adam Page taking on Josh Alexander in a
Here we go
non-title
again.
grudge match.
I shouldn't have even fucking joked about it.
Uh-oh, why?
Someone said a lot of wrestlers return on YouTube shows because they're saying Liv could return because Otis returned there. I'm like, don't compare Liv Morgan to Otis.
To Otis, yes.
Don't.
Also on Dynamite, Tony Storm taking on Sky Blue. That's going to be a Philly street fight. Sure, let's see what happens there. Then, of course, we've got Mercedes Moné and Emi Sakura taking on Riho and Alex Windsor. Right. Shelton Benjamin and Ricochet. All right. And Brian Danielson to be on commentary.
Do you think World's Collide's like a PLE?
No, not this one. This is more of just like a network special than even a PLE.
I think
this is
more
just a Friday
like,
night. It's not even a pay-per-view like weekend type thing with them. Granted, they've all been on YouTube because of the deal they have with AAA at this point. But yeah, no. This is not even considered a full PLE. They're just putting it on YouTube after SmackDown.
They're not even hyping it up as much as they did the first one.
No, because it's not a weekend big, it's not, their yearly WrestleMania and, Triple Mania, and it's not the initial Worlds Collide after their purchase. So we saw a bunch of stuff backstage with the Usos on Raw where basically Jimmy proved my point. He said Jay is acting like Roman Reigns. And Roman is a face now, so that just proves that Roman never turned face, and I'm 100% factually correct. Roman's still a certified heel, 100% asshole.
Yep.
Telling you, never changed.
We can agree with. I think that's one of the things we have agreed with lately. That why the hell is Roman Reigns a babyface?
Yeah, it was a very abrupt turn for Jay's character, and he's like, something isn't working. It just doesn't feel like
happy-go-lucky too.
A good plan. Yeah.
Right.
Jay is definitely going to turn heel eventually. It's going to happen. They're teasing it hard here. We had the little thing backstage. I think it's going to end up being
Jimmy was right. I think not because he doesn't have the world title anymore. I think after winning the world title, it built this ego in his head, and that's what Jimmy was initially worried about.
Yeah. And look where it brought us. It said you're acting like Roman for a reason, so he's not wrong. And we got AJ Lee to come out. She had a massive ovation. She's wearing the women's IC title around her waist, skipping to the ring. She's just got the most thunderous welcome back chant. Like I said before in the intro, I think that it wasn't she wasn't rattled to speak because she's still done engagements and spoken person and all these things. I think instead it was just that ovation, that reception blew her away. She basically said that she thought she was done. She hung up her, Chuck Taylors and thought that was it. She never thought she was going to wear jean shorts 2 sizes too small again. She thought she was done. She went on a journey. She accomplished a lot of dreams that she had, and she did it all. And she went on a mental health journey. She's like, I wasn't happy, and I needed to take care of myself and get right. I went to therapy, which got a huge therapy chant. She's like, yeah, let's hear for therapy. That made me laugh. And she's like, I turned all of that mental
Maybe
chaos
I missed it. I'm sorry.
into my superpower. What's that?
I'm interrupting your
what'd you miss?
Thing here. They said they've been building up and treating Worlds Collide like a big show for this Friday. Have they built it up that way?
No, the only thing that they built up was Finn Balor in the commercial break spoke to the audience. Not Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio spoke to the audience saying that he'd be the AAA champ during the commercial break. They didn't even air it during Raw. Just saying.
They're saying they're making it a big deal. WWE's advertising it.
Of course they're going to advertise it. They own AAA, but it's not been heavily advertised as any of the other events. So no, she's not returning. And why should we return now? Wouldn't make sense. She's not cleared yet. We got ways to go. What we are focused on is AJ Lee, though. She basically said her, anyone fighting a battle should know you're worth it. And that really always was her. That even as a heel, this was still her, and it works. She was very sincere always. I went back and watched, the WWE posted a video about a month ago talking about her journey and everything she went through from 2013 to 14. You see the promos, and she was always damn good on the mic. People, like I said, bring up the cage match ratings. Who did she have to work with? She shined in a kiddie pool. She was a total, just complete, shining, ultimate catch in a thing of tuna. She was the shrimp. So, what are you gonna do? She was a little bit of something different. And when you're tired of one thing, you want to change your palate. That's what she was at that time. She was a big breath of fresh air. Becky comes out, gets a ton of heat. This city's a dump, and you should give me back my title so I can leave this dump of a city. And eventually she says, where's your husband? How dare he hides behind you? And the irony from Becky has never, failed to connect. I do love that from her heel promos, just being so arrogant to cast stones in her glass house. And she's like, hey, you can come and take this title back from me, Becky, if you want it back so bad. That's when Rollins comes out, and he's going to get it from her and basically says, I'm coming in there to take it, steps in the ring, but AJ steps in front of him, skips in front of him, and keeps him from the title. That's when Punk comes out and lays out Rollins, goes to hit a GTS. Rollins escapes, gets out of there. Becky gets kind of goaded into it because Seth accepts a tag match for WrestlePalooza that's laid out on the line. So we're going to see a mixed tag match, Punk and AJ taking on Seth and Becky. So her hot husband and her are in some trouble. Becky's sporting a big black eye behind her big Beck's glasses. AJ Lee, you can call it the honeymoon phase if you want. The crowd are going to love her for some time. I think that she is over for a very specific reason, and that's because the fans love her. And it's great of her to send such a great positive message as well. And it wasn't forced, because this is what she wrote her book about. This is what she's talked about. Like, this has been her forever. It wasn't like WWE was like, oh, we're doing a be a star thing. Go out there and tell people it's good to have therapy because we're working with BetterHelp. It was like, no, I'm genuinely telling you, I turn crazy into my superpower. You can too. Get help. It's out there. So I give them a huge W for this.
Sorry, my internet is shitting the bed again. But yeah, I heard most of what you said. Yeah.
What did you think about Bayley then? That's what I want to know. You and your broken internet. What do you think about Bayley? The whole her hearing her voices and being crazy. It's kind of like a Joker Bayley in a way.
Kind of hearing voices, but I don't know what the deal is with this. What cool.
Well, they were playing her old promos. They had Hugger Bayley, they had the Karen Bayley, knock knock, that whole shit. They basically were like, oh, you know what you have to do to make it right, and Bayley's like, I'll make it right, and she's, I guess, a split personality. They made R-Truth lose his split personality. He was supposed to come back as R. Killins, Ron the Truth Killins, and he was going to be nothing but the truth. And what'd they do to him? They turned him into a shucking, diving, dancing fool again. He's back to regular R-Truth, who we'll never see on TV until he gets let go and there's not as much fanfare. That's what's going to happen. He wasn't part of the plan. And if you're not part of the plan, it certainly stands out. I don't know what part of the plan Bayley is, but this doesn't feel like it's connecting to anything at this point in time, which is partly the issue. I know it's supposed to be like, oh, I had this issue with Lyra, but the crowd may chant a little bit for the bird lady, but then the pigeon dies. No one cared about anything with Lyra once the bell rings. And it's not just the entrance. Like, people just they're not behind her. And unfortunately, Raquel's a heel, so they're not really behind her either. So that match didn't get as much attention probably as it could have. We end up, bird lady.
She got her wings clipped tonight.
She did. She did indeed. Pigeon down. She's been duck hunted. Penta and Rusev. I made a joke same time as Paul did, saying this is an AEW Dark rematch if I've ever felt one. Rusev was coming out in the commercial break. It really wasn't much of anything. Penta hit his destroyer, then they called it a code red instead of saying it was his Mexican destroyer. You then had the New Day come out, and I believe
they called it a code red.
They did call it a code red. Funny enough.
Wait, I didn't know. I missed that.
Yes.
I didn't know.
So funny enough, and basically Penta dives at Rusev, and then he kicks him in midair and pins him. It was a cool finish, but the match was not great. And then, of course, you knew you weren't going to get a clean finish to begin with. Rusev working with somebody different that's not Sheamus, I guess, is good, but I'm not crazy about him right now either. He's not bad, but he's not the redeemer.
And Rusev gain each other's respect and form a team. That's
Do the old League of Nations have them team back up?
I really think that would have been better for both of them.
Like the bar.
Honestly, what are they going to do on their own right now?
Yeah, and then Penta really has been floundering.
Rusev and Sheamus versus Braun and Bronson.
That would be great. Absolutely. There's something you could have put there, but Penta right now has been treading water for many weeks. He was huge in popularity, you know, he was so over when they first brought him in, but now he's just kind of been there. He's like a staple of the show. He's the doink, you know, he's the guy that's selling the merch to kids, and adults like to see him too because they're in on it, you know, yeah, all right. But there's nothing to it. We don't have any story about him. There's just nothing. There's no substance yet again. At least he wants to be champion, you know, Rusev says. So does Penta, but that's barely being known. The New Day, I'm so done with. They cut a terrible promo during the commercial break. Basically, it was Xavier saying that he wants to ban Penta's Mexican destroyer still. It's the most dangerous move. It's injured many necks. And Grayson Waller made, you know, people sign the petition. That was the point of it. So when they came out here, it's just groan-inducing. It's like the New Day. Sorry, guys. What else you've gotten the tag title so many times? You've done the singles thing for the most part. You were King of the Ring. Kofi had Kofi Mania. Do they need to be around anymore? Are they doing anything of note or merit, or are they just taking up space that somebody else could be having? Because that's kind of how it feels. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Grayson Waller is their new third man. They had this great breakup, and then their heel turn was what?
No, this is just a big group of dropping the ball.
Yes.
Grayson and Austin Theory drop the ball on. The New Day, you drop the ball on. So put them all together, and they're the ball droppers.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
They are.
Absolutely. So they had a hype package for WrestlePalooza with Brock's and
this
Cena.
Just proves Triple H is an overrated booker. I'm sorry to go on a rant here, but how can we call him this absolute great booker when look at the New Day and Grayson Waller? Look at that. Oh my God.
You might you might be onto something, because think about it. So he had a lot of good bookings early on, but a lot of those also fell into his lap. You know, they did. They were pre-written, predetermined. You knew how they were going to end, or at least the trajectory they were going. And then is it now that was his booking and it was great and he's being stifled now by TKO and The Rock and other people on the board? Or is it this is truly his creative and this is what we're getting? They're only booking for moments, not story. And I think that's going to be their ultimate downfall. They're still white hot. People want to pay these top dollars, but eventually people are going to be tired of the moments, just like they are in AEW. Prime example, I said it, you know, but AEW went head to head with Heatwave, and Heatwave had one table spot, but I do not forget Obafemi throwing Javon Evans as far as he did through and over the announce table. What a freaking spot. How many table spots did they have in that cage match for the 10-person cage match at Forbidden Door? Lights out, you know. Do you remember any of it though? So you know, Spot Fest. Now that AJ returns, well, what are they going to do with her long term? Let's see. Hopefully they have some sort of a plan. I think the plan is for her to beat Becky eventually and take the IC title. But
WWE versus AEW, I always hate to make a WWE versus AEW thing when copy and paste AEW's main event at All In, then people say, "Oh, well, that was a great match." But if you copy and paste that and put it on WWE, what will the fans say? That's a spot fest. That's what fans do. But like casual fans that watch both fairly will call out the spot
But
fest.
why do they call it a spot fest? Because they're used to the WWE styles, and WWE fans are going to call it a spot fest because they're used to a toned down, lesser, non-hardcore style, to use a bad word
this
again.
is why WWE style is better, because when WWE
I
does
wouldn't say
push
better.
this
I
limit
mean, but
and goes,
it's certainly more palatable for a wider audience.
almost every match in AEW is like a hardcore match now because they don't know what the fuck they're doing and don't know how to book proper stories. So, hey, we'll just give you a bunch of brutal matches instead.
Shotzi and Matt Cardona had a match in GCW where, you know, they eventually get everybody involved, and Nick Gage gets involved. You know, they got the pizza cutter, the light tubes, all the hardcore spots. And I was like, you know, I know they wanted to be the deathmatch king and take it from Cardona, but it just, I lose it there. I don't care about the hardcore stuff. It just doesn't do it for me. You know, Moxley being a deathmatch champion.
Mean something like why in WWE
we're brave, we're strong, we're badass. Yeah, but it doesn't come across that way. They look like fools.
When WWE once in a while does that, it means something.
I watched an indie spot the other day where they had a guy be powerbombed onto 2 flaming cinder blocks. So we got, you know, 2nd and 3rd degree burns and herniated disc in his spine because, you know, and that's why Dana White made that comment.
Isn't about live in general. This is just about.
Yeah.
I have a question. Speaking about just indie wrestling or wrestling promotions.
Yeah.
How much people from WWE will watch AAA shows like Worlds Collide, for example?
It's a very small subsect. I mean, I think they had 600,000.
Nearly 500,000.
Yeah, I think it was 600,000. I think it was 600,000 for the first Worlds Collide, and then 500 something or 600 concurrent for the most recent Triple Mania.
But is that how much of that was the big WWE fans though?
I don't know, because how much of that is the AAA audience? I know they also have it airing in Spanish, so I don't know what it does for numbers on that side, but it just doesn't seem to be as big as what people think. I mean, it's certainly large, and they do massive numbers in Mexico themselves. So AAA was very big over, obviously, in the millions. So you can't really. They said, oh, it was the most watched. Yeah, most watched in the U.S. maybe, you know, but not overall. Still, thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, Mr. Reynolds. Thank you, everybody, being in the chat. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe on the YouTube. If you're on TikTok or Twitter, make sure you're giving it a follow. We appreciate it. Hopefully, we won't be banned, you know, for another 7 days, but we'll see what happens on the TikTok side. Santino Marella shall return. You know, he's the director of operations for TNA. We've seen him on NXT. We've seen him have matches, Mr. David Tude. And how long until we see it happen again? Miss you, bud. Glad and hope you're doing well. Always send positive vibes your way. We had Asuka taking on Nikki Bella, and again, you know, we had some good matches tonight, but this one just kind of fell flat. I don't know if it was kind of mistimed between the two or what. Asuka was kind of hiding behind Kairi Sane and then moved out of her way and hit Nikki with a great kick before the commercial break. So that was good. They kind of started to get better as time went on, as Asuka avoids the rack attack there. And they go to kick each other. They both manage to avoid out of the way. But all of a sudden, Asuka ends up getting her with a head kick, takes her down, and then she puts her in the Asuka lock and gets the win. And I'm like, good. Hey, as much as you think Nikki would be steamrolling everybody right now, it seems like she's there to work. She wants to help other people get put over, and seemingly so far, you can't say otherwise with the booking. That's how it's been shown. She's not taking anybody's spot. She's not, you know, been selfish as far as that goes. So as far as the character goes, maybe, but her in the ring, she's been pretty selfless. You know, she didn't beat Becky for the title like we thought. She didn't beat Asuka here, and we've seen Asuka lose when it counts. So great to see Asuka kind of continuing this momentum and having her be a bully in the back and kind of tell everybody that I'm the top of the women's division. I'm going to take over, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it could be Io getting that title going up against Asuka. That's what a lot of people are thinking right now. It may not be Stephanie. So, we had a little mini backstage setting with the Judgment Day. You saw Dominic showed up, and everybody's wondering where the hell he'd been. And he's like, oh, I'm prepping for my Mega Champion at Worlds Collide. And he's like, oh, are you hanging out with El Grande? We want to know what's up with him. You know, they're not hanging out with you unless they want something in return. And Dom's like, you wouldn't get it. It's a lucha thing. And he said, you know, I don't need help if you guys didn't get banned. So Dom storms away, but it's kind of like that fake rage. Got to see what's going on here, because he gets a reaction, like we said before, like a face from the crowd chanting Dirty Dom when he was talking to the audience during the commercial break. Like, he's over as Rover. The fans want him to be that guy. Just not happening yet. He's still a heel, and it's interesting because even with the IC title, I mean, he could be on one hell of a face run right now. We saw him get it at Mania, and he's barely defended that belt. He needed help to you know, retain last week with AJ. It's certainly not the biggest, you know, get behind for Dominic that he could be having. Then, of course, we had Rhea interrupt Nikki and Asuka in the back, asking if she had a problem. Asuka says, yep, you and you. So we'll likely get a tag match. If not at WrestlePalooza, then it'll be this next week at Raw. We'll probably see Rhea and Nikki teaming up to take on Asuka and Kairi, who again wanted to apologize, but then gets called away and has to run off. So they also said that Jimmy and Jay versus the Bronze is official for WrestlePalooza. So we got that match as well. Now we have 4 matches on that card. And then we got LA Knight coming out for his match. He was out there to take on
Let me talk to you.
Bronson Reed. So
yeah.
him and Braun Breaker. Yeah. This was okay. Bronson Reed came out during the commercial, thanks to the VPN again. Hey, I said the magic word. Sorry, Stephanie. There wasn't, again, too much to this match. It was a very, they are. I'm not certainly
news,
watching on ESPN.
From ESPN. ESPN is upset with Into Somewhere's Jake and Cody.
They do want an additional $360 a year to watch the shows that we've been watching for many years now that have been included for free with my Comcast subscription. So Xfinity, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm mad. It shouldn't be this way, but it is.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to pay? Or are you just going to use the VPN you said to watch the PLEs now?
I'm going to pay.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I'll pay too.
Yeah, because we don't want any legal problems. Yeah, we're going to pay.
So, but YouTube TV doesn't cover it, so now I have to pay?
The VPN service. I mean, no. Shit.
I get your drift.
Bronson Reed was starting to get his ass kicked for a bit. You know, LA Knight was kind of in control when they got back in the commercial breaks and knocking him all over the place. But every time he starts to get ahead, damn, you just get Braun Breaker in the way barking. And Knight gets out of the way from a big senton. And he goes to the middle rope, and he goes ahead and gets the crowd behind him, hits a big top rope elbow. You know, he ends up jumping up to the top rope and hitting it. Looks great. Gets a great near fall. He sets up for the BFT, but that's when Braun Breaker jumps up on the apron, and that's when Bronson Reed gets up, hits the DVD, the Death Valley Driver, pins him. 1, 2, 3. Main event's over. They start to beat him down. Jimmy Uso runs out as predicted, starts to help, but Braun Breaker hits him with a spear, and he puts him down, and that's when Jay comes out. And it's on now. Jay is trying to help his brother, but look at that, he gets hit with a spear too, and they put the Usos next to each other. They're gonna get tsunami'd, and that's when LA Knight hits him with a chair, throws the chair into Bronson Reed's face, and Breaker gets a great block there, but oof, hell of a chair throw. The heels break the hell out of there, and you think they're going to be all set and done. LA Knight is helping him, Jimmy, and then, he gets speared by Jay. Jay does the yeet, with the fans, and that was it. The credits roll. So it was a good main event, but not great. 6 or 7 out of 10 in that vein. Because we see this every week. I mean, it's tiresome with Division being in the main event.
Get free tickets, I told you, because I want to see John Cena's last draw.
That's right.
So hi, WWE. If you're listening, Boss Man, Big Nose, not Big Nose.
Oh God,
the game.
The game.
So
Big Nose.
If you would please give me free tickets to the MSG show to see John Cena's final Monday Night Raw, I would appreciate it. This was the craziest ending in the history of Monday Night Raw. It's never been seen before. I promise I didn't feel like I watched reruns of Raws since WrestleMania. I don't think so.
Come on, Mr. Levesque. He's on his knees like Taker's wife, begging, please.
I'm begging.
That's how she got that podcast. And LFG. She took my job.
What are the biggest returns we got left in WWE history? I know you'll just throw them all out the window at Worlds Collide this Friday after SmackDown.
That's right. Just bang them out of there. Who do we got left? Ilya Dragunov. He's back on Worlds Collide. What else? Who else can we return?
Yeah,
Who else
that's
is
funny.
injured?
That was funny though, comparing Otis to her.
Yes, that's a good one. I mean, like I said, a good main event, but this show was it was what it needed to be. It was good to build up WrestlePalooza, and they did it in a good way. The Punk segment with AJ certainly stands out above all else. So I feel, again, like you said, it was a tale of two shows, but a lot of the backstage segments left more than a lot to be desired. The in-ring stuff was better as far as promo segments went, especially the Becky and AJ back and forth. That was excellent. But some of the matches, not too great. And some other ones, were better than others, but nothing stood above the rest. Nothing was like, oh my God, that match was incredible. You have to catch this tomorrow. The AJ finish was good. Lyra and Raquel, the ending was good with basically Lyra basically struggles and Raquel just hits her and it's done. It's like, all right, good, but you got the Tiana bomb. Woo. A lot of it just felt very predictable. So good to build up WrestlePalooza. I'd give this show probably a 6.5 out of 10. Again, not a bad booking, but it's building towards a great show. WrestlePalooza is probably going to be one of the better shows of this year. It looks to be even more built than some of SummerSlam, really. What's going on, Daron? Happy to have you in the chat. What do you give Raw, Cody? That's what I want to know.
I want to be nicer about Monday Night Raw, honestly, but you can't, because they just give you the same shit every week.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately how it feels.
You know what? I'm going to be strict here. I give it
Give it a what?
I'm trying to think. I give it 6 out of 10.
All right. I was at a 6.5. You're at a 6.
And if AJ Lee wasn't on there tonight, I would have maybe given this like a 4.
Yeah, absolutely. A 4 certainly would have been.
You're right there with.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, AJ Lee added a lot, certainly about 2.5 points. What's going on to Victor and Lily over on TikTok? Thank you guys for hanging out. And what's going on to Cade over on Twitter? Thank you guys for hanging out with all the restreams. We appreciate it. We'll see what happens with NXT. We'll be live this Wednesday into Summer
I'll say
Weekly.
The best show of the week, surprisingly, this time around was SmackDown.
Yeah, SmackDown. Well, I mean, new week, new start. But yeah, if we're looking back,
we've talked about that in this before. Like kind of like flip flop roles. Like sometimes Raw will be the big show, and SmackDown will take the back seat.
Yeah,
and they switch it around, and SmackDown will be the good show, and Raw.
They went heavy with SmackDown as well. I mean, Cena, that was his last SmackDown
appearance. And they're kind of doing that again this Friday.
They opened it up. Yeah, they're going to have Lesnar. They're going to have, obviously, we said Drew and Randy.
This time of year where I think it always happens during football season because of Monday Night Football. I think football season, usually SmackDown is the better show every week.
Yeah. The only thing more dead than me is Michelle McCool's reaction. I agree.
Football. Let's check how you did. With
Oh,
your
yes,
prediction.
please. Let's go ahead and let me pull up my sticky note here. So I got to go ahead and hit my sticky. Let's go ahead and cap this up. What's going over there? There we go. All right, making room on the computer. All right, I got it. So I was doing okay, I think, at one point, and then yeah, I don't know. It just kind of went to crap. So we'll have to see about my predictions. But what you have them in front of you? The winners of the week.
Let's go back to. Yep.
All
I can
right.
do NFL Week 1.
Okay.
NFL. Okay, so
So I said
let's start with
one.
Thursday.
Eagles.
Yep.
Chargers
Eagles,
won the
right?
next one.
Yep.
All right. How did the Colts win?
The Colts did win.
Oh, now what about the Steelers?
The Steelers won.
Hey, look at that. Panthers.
Panthers lost.
Ah. All right.
Next one.
Saints.
On.
They won?
Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, the Saints.
Cardinals won.
Ah. All right. Another one. Giants.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but they were facing my favorite team. We call them the Washington Redskins in these parts. The Washington Redskins did win.
The washed up foreskins won that one. What about the Falcons?
Excuse you. That's not what we call them around here. The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers won.
Ah, look at that. I'm not doing great. All right, the Browns I had.
Bengals won.
I saw that was a bad one. Yeah. Now, what about the Patriots? And they couldn't cheat. That was the double deal of the week. 2 points.
Because they couldn't cheat, the Raiders won.
Ah, damn it. Look at that. What about the 49ers?
The 49ers did win.
All right, not too bad. Titans?
Broncos won.
Green Bay?
Green Bay did win.
All right, the
They
Rams?
smoked the Lions. The Rams did win.
Hey, look at that. I'm picking back up. The Ravens?
The Ravens would have won. They were up 40-25. I watched that game last night.
I didn't see
The
the
Bills
end
made
of
a
it.
spectacular comeback.
Really? They did make a comeback. See,
Yeah,
I only
41-40.
I saw it was at
Bills won.
whatever to 20, and it was like, I think I got this. And then we got the Vikings.
Vikings did win. So you kind of did good. Wednesday, you'll have your new predictions. And so what did you, how many did
So
you
out
get
of
right?
16, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrong. So I'm 8 and 8. I'm split right in the middle.
So you want 50%, which is actually decent.
Hey, if we win all 16, I was gonna bet this next week, and I know Coot wants to know. I mean, my time traveling lawyer should be giving me tips, but unfortunately, he's busy failing the bar. No, actually, he just keeps forgetting to go back and tell me who won. Like, he just gets too high and eats too many mushrooms, and then goes off on this like journey quest. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to tell me the numbers to make us money, and he's like, I followed a werewolf into the village. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, not again. So Wednesday, we will have our predictions again for NFL Week 2. And you and I will be going ahead and covering every bit of news around WrestlePalooza, around AEW, because All Out is coming in Toronto.
Yo, we clutched up in Toronto,
That's right. And then, of course, we'll be live this Friday with our SmackDown review. That's going to be, of course, tied in with Worlds Collide. Going to be a hell of a show there. So we'll be live for Worlds
It's
Collide.
supposed to be as big, apparently, as the one from Money in the Bank.
We'll see then. I mean, another Worlds Collide event. We'll see what happens with it. But until then, I thank you all for being here. Cody, tell these amazing people where they can find you, my good friend.
You can find me over on my Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era. You can find me over on my YouTube channel, also at Judgment Day Era. And I know I'm getting fines out of my bank account here for not posting YouTube content for you. Was that you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did sign the contract and said that you were going to be uploading. So, I mean, there is that.
You'll have to help me out with that soon. we'll get some GTA content. I really want to do that.
We got that mic up there, so you can plug that into the PlayStation and connect.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way, because
Hey, you
that
know it.
actually works perfectly with the PlayStation.
Damn
And
Skippy.
you can find me over on my Instagram, where I'm paid by the Judgment Day, at Cody_Onidi_316.
That's right. You can go ahead and find him there.
Then I'm not shitting you, Jake. No, like they actually thought I was getting paid. But
They did. The Instagram thought you were getting paid by the Judgment Day to promote him. Funny. Gotta love it. So you can find us on Instagram, on Twitter,
As I
on
said,
Rumble, at Countdown
if they're
Ended.
paying people, who's the first one that deserves money?
Us?
If they're paying people,
You, me,
Yes.
everybody?
so Judgment Day.
Lights
Jake,
freaking
tell
out.
the Judgment Day how much you love them.
Oh, we
we're getting paid
of
by-
course love the Judgment Day here. We should be getting paid by them, but you can find us, of course, on YouTube at Jake Countdown Ended DeMarco, and then you can check us out, as I said, on Twitter, on Rumble, on Instagram at Countdown Ended. We're on TikTok as well, so it's Jake Countdown Ended there. You can find us on Spotify as well. Search Into Somewhere. So I think I got it all. Keeping house. I hope you all have a great night. Raw 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad night, but nothing really to write home about. Cody, thank you for being here. Everybody have a great night. Stay sexy. And we'll see you all Wednesday for Into Somewhere Weekly. Have a good night.
Into somewhere where we break it down. CM Punk, John Cena tearing up the town.